self-mastery and your legacy are the same goals. Now, you may not even believe that you have a legacy to leave the world, but you do. Everyone does. That's why we were born. Every single person born has something within them that they're meant to leave the world that would cause the world to become better if they allow themselves to become better, and that's self-mastery. Meaning that we have to discover what our path is, because we're each given one, and it's something that's very specific for you, something that you were meant to follow that would cause you to be really happy, to live this life of joy, abundance, happiness, all of that, right relationships. And when you look up self-mastery, you kind of wonder, well, what does that mean? And I actually went to look to see where that term came from, and the earliest reference of it was 1652. So it's been around a while, so we do understand what self-mastery is, and it is about being able to control our emotions, control our actions, control our thoughts, and that allows us to make the correct decisions, to have the right relationships, to do all of those things, and then we start to live the lives that we were supposed to have, and then that journey that we move through provides us with a legacy. It provides us with something that we're going to leave to the next generation, to our kids, to others. It doesn't matter who it is, but every single person does that unless we choose not to. And I can talk about this because there was a time I chose not to. I did not want to live who I was, so I was never going to get to my legacy. I was never going to be able to leave anything to anyone else. And I had to think about that. Because see, we're only in our bodies, we're only alive for a certain amount of time. We must know that. We don't live all the time. However, while we're here, it's about what are we going to do? What is that difference that we're going to make in our lives, and what are we going to leave to others? And if we don't believe that we are leaving a legacy, then we haven't discovered our authentic selves. That's all that happens, and I can tell you that. I'm going to tell you one story. I have many of them, but I'm going to give you this one. In 1995, I was not going to own who I was. I had decided I was not going to reveal that, who I was, to anyone else. And then I decided to distract myself by getting involved in a relationship that I knew was not going to work for me, that was not the right one. But I devoted all of my time to this relationship. I was just going to be focused on that. See, because if I focused on that, I wouldn't have to think about the other thing that I felt I was supposed to do, but I'm ignoring. You see, that is when we are not able to master who we are and what's coming up. We all have plans we were given, a blueprint that's within us that we're supposed to live. And so what happened as a result of that, I ended up getting really sick. We have mind-body connection. When you understand your consciousness or mindset, then you will also understand your mind-body connection and why you might be having certain physical ailments or illnesses or diseases or mental problems. They're all connected to us not owning who we are. And so then what happened was, as a result of this, when I got sick, I discovered that I had this sore on my foot. It was something really strange. I didn't understand what it was. Even the doctors didn't even understand what it was. So I ended up in the hospital, and they were trying to save my foot, you see, because they didn't know what was going to happen. They had never seen this kind of condition before, this infection. And I was in there for the first time for a couple weeks, and they were doing everything, antibiotics, all kinds of things. Nothing was happening. It wasn't moving. And I knew what it was, too. On another level, I knew what it was. It was not me not willing to stand on my own 2 feet, not willing to take care of myself, not willing to own who I was. That's what it was. And when you start to understand mind-body connection, you will see the times that you might have denied who you are, and then all these other illnesses or diseases or problems or difficulties show up in your life because you're not honoring who you were born to be, because everyone was born to become something wonderful if they could embrace what that is. But it's a process. And so what happened during that time, they finally decided, well, we won't have to amputate your foot or your leg, because that was a question at that time as well, but we'll just take some of your toes. That's what happened. And then I had to learn how to walk again, and I had to learn how to function in the world, because I was on so many opioids. I became drug addicted. I became all of that. I became clinically depressed, all those things. And I lost everything that I had. I lost my home. I lost my career, everything. Absolutely everything. And I had to figure out, well, how am I going to rebuild that? Well, I did. I rebuilt it because what I had started doing in 1988 was receiving cosmic information, which was guiding me and telling me how I could develop and become the person that I needed to become so that I could live a different life. And then it was revealed to me that I could give this to others as well. See, because that's what happens. When you move through something, you discover something, you figure out things, then you give it back to others. And that's what I'm doing now, because no one needs to go through what I did. No one needs to live that. But it is a process. And what I did every single day, when you understand neuroscience, you'll get this, but every single day I would sit down and receive this cosmic information along with all the other things that I was studying, because I studied so much personal development over 40 years, so I did know that as well. But the cosmic information, which was universal, was very different because it gave me an awareness of who I was meant to become in this world that I could pass on to others. And that's what I'm doing now. And that's the legacy that I will leave. And I'm saying this because I don't care what you've been through and how challenging or difficult it might have been, or how you hated yourself or you were depressed. I don't care what that was. You can always change it, because it's just your mindset. And then when you understand who you are, who you innately were meant to become in this world, things change. And it's so thrilling for me to do this work now and be able to give this back to so many others so that they can live incredible lives, and then our world also looks a lot different. That's why we're all here. We're all alive to do something within our lives, what is given to us individually, so that we can offer that to the world, and then our world becomes better. That's what's going on. So just know that you have a legacy to leave, and it's a powerful, important one, and the world would not be the same unless you had lived to leave your legacy.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I've had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like, you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.